Errol Barnett is in Washington with the details.
I've never been more encouraged. If we can get people talking, we can find our way out of this mess.
Republican Senator Lindsey Graham had lunch with President Trump today, helping to navigate a compromise out of the government shutdown. The South Carolina senator is encouraging the president to bring Democrats on board by, among other things, providing work permits to children of undocumented immigrants. Senator, after you outlined this to President Trump, what were the first words out of his mouth?
Interesting.
Counselor to the president, Kellyanne Conway, says her boss hasn't spoken with Democratic leadership recently and is open to other ideas.
It really depends on what Customs and Border Patrol says they need. And they have said they need barriers. They need, the president says a wall, barriers. They need steel slats. They need technology enhancements.
In speaking of the administration's aim, outgoing Chief of Staff John Kelly tells the LA Times, to be honest, it's not a wall. Explaining, quote, "We left a solid concrete wall early on in the administration when we asked people what they needed and where they needed it." This comes as President Trump continues to tie the partial government closure to the Democrats' refusal to fund what he describes as a desperately needed wall. Talks have broken down between Democrats and the White House just days before Nancy Pelosi will be sworn in as the new House Speaker over the incoming Democratic majority. This weekend, the president called it the Schumer shutdown, despite taking responsibility for it just a few weeks ago.
I will be the one to shut it down. I'm not going to blame you for it. I am proud to shut down the government for border security, Chuck.
Now, in speaking to the White House press today, Senator Graham said that Democrats can simply pick up the phone and give President Trump a call anytime they are ready to end this shutdown. And we should note the most recent CBS News polling found that almost 60% of Americans oppose building a wall along the southern border. Elaine?
Errol, meantime, General Kelly will wrap up his role as Chief of Staff this week. In an exit interview with the LA Times, he's blaming Attorney General Jeff Sessions for child separations at the border. What more can you tell us?
It's a pretty stunning admission. Kelly's last few days are coming up here this week, and he said it was indeed Sessions who, quote, instituted the zero tolerance process, apparently surprising the Trump administration. Now, we should note that when Kelly was saying this to the LA Times, he was defending his protege, current DHS head Kirstjen Nielsen, who was his deputy at the time and is now shielding most of the blame.
All right, Errol Barnett at the White House. Errol, thank you.
You got it.